get that cable up there tight, and then clip it just to the cable. That's not even the shirt, just clip it to the cable. It'll clip the shirt, obviously, because the shirt's in the way.
Oh, so clip the cable in there as well.
And then it holds it. So that's your point too. Yeah.
Well, that's the more you know. Knowing is half the battle.
And you can put it on a zip, but the zip clinks at all.
That's why I thought if I put it on this
I've done that
zip
before. Yeah.
asking for trouble.
It goes.
This is the intro. Here is your wrestling news. We've got some details on some bizarre future plans for Raw and SmackDown events. Goldberg wants John Cena next. And Daniel Bryan wants a New Japan Dream match next. We'll get to that in a bit. Raw and SmackDown are in weird places at the moment. SmackDown's still quite an entertaining show. Raw, on the grand scheme of things, is a bit of a hot mess. So, WWE are looking for new ways to jazz up their favourite programmes.
They are, yes. So, off the back of the success that the MLB had with their Field of Dreams game last week, you know, like if you build it, they will be, you know, the classic, the cornfield, all that. WWE's began sort of initial discussions about a few off-site events. So they want to do some OBs or outside broadcasts. Nice. And some ideas are discussed that have been discussed within creative are apparently Raw on the Roof, Hammerstein Ballroom, and more direct festival shows a la Rolling Loud. Now this comes from WrestleVotes, but yeah, what do you think
Raw on the
about
Roof?
This?
I'm up for Raw on the Roof. That's basically the Money in the Bank thing they did, isn't it?
It depends how much effort they put into it, right? So the thing is, if you're gonna be like, we're doing Raw on the Roof, and it's just a ring,
just
and
Raw on the roof.
like but if you're gonna do like say a SmackDown, I'm gonna bring this up again. If you're gonna do a SmackDown throwback show, and then just have stuff that was never part of SmackDown in it, and don't even have the stage or anything interesting, like if they did the Hammerstein Ballroom, if they did the Hammerstein Ballroom and just kind of had like the old Raw logo, but then it was just the current ring, and it was like, if you're going to go in on this sort of thing, go big.
That's
go really,
it.
really big.
And it's annoying because WWE
it's what we remember, and it sticks out.
Yeah.
Like, you sit there and but do you remember when they did that? Do you remember when they did this? Do you remember when, that set, this, blah, blah. And that's the thing where you don't have to do it every week, but when you do a special, really make it count. And do a show at the beach, for the love of God. When was the last time? Oh,
when was the last beach show?
I don't even know.
Would the last Nitro count as a beach show?
Yeah, technically.
It's like the beach break. It was
kind of like a
spring
frat boy
breakout,
hotel, yeah.
Bash to the Beach quite often was at a beach.
Well, it's kind of in the name, but yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes they weren't at a beach. They were
very true.
Sometimes they were a bash near a beach.
Bash in the arena.
Sometimes they weren't even a bash. Celebrity of Love Island is not an island, it's a peninsula. There's no love either. It's Lust Peninsula is Love Island.
I see this being a good thing. You know, they keep saying they want to cross over into mainstream. They keep saying they want to do X, Y, Z. You know, if they license, this is just such a weird and crap suggestion. But it's like, say they licensed Mortal Kombat somehow, and it was like, we're gonna have a Mortal Kombat themed Raw, and it's all like proper tortures, and it all like they've got a weird, crazy set for it, right? That sort of thing would be cool. Like if they're gonna go in on like set sort of ones. I think, go big with that.
What would Seth Rollins' finish him fatality be?
It's just a massive curb stomp, but then time stops and you see somebody's skull break in 48 places on the Tron, and then the sponsors just call up and go, sorry Vince, no more Snickers for you, and the lights turn off, and that's the end.
And then Vince gives him a big old uppercut! That would be what would happen. That would be a lovely day.
Vince just comes storming down like Shao Kahn.
Storming down and saying, you're next! At least that's what Goldberg is saying to John Cena. So Goldberg was chatting to DAZN and dream matches came up. Big Billy ain't done yet, Sam. He ain't done yet.
No, he is not. So he said to DAZN or DAZN or DAZNer, Cena, that has always been a dream. Never been in the ring with him. We were two completely different characters. Hey, you never know. You never know. Obviously, I want Roman bad. I want a piece of somebody from Georgia Tech, like I can taste it. The comparisons, the football background, I truly believe that's a match that needs needs to happen.
That became very Mills and Boone in the middle there.
Yeah,
I can taste it. I want
Big
it
E
bad.
has to be on the list. I've watched him for years develop, and I'm very proud of him. I do remember when he was in my autograph line 150 years ago. Oh, Bill, you're not that old. As a little kid, having aspirations of doing things that he's doing now. I'm very happy for him. There are still people that I need to smash up. There's so many different alleyways that statement goes down there. But finish strong with smashing people up.
Goldberg and Cena. We've never seen that.
It's easy casual money, and you know what? If it even is, do people want to see that match? But if people do want to see that match and there are enough casual fans, then maybe you'll get some curiosity clicks. But I don't know. I would rather the old guys, like, not that Cena is kind of included in this because he's just come back, but I'd rather like the returning stars, if there's no real plans for them, then put them up against an older returning star.
Yeah.
Why not? Just rerun a match from Raw in 2003. Like, what you got to lose? It's not going to harm anybody else's booking.
It's very true. Just stick him in there, happy days. I love that he's mentioning Big E, though, because it comes back to my thing. And 9 Pitches is on later today on the YouTube channel. Feel free to steal this, because at time of recording, it hasn't been recorded yet, has it? Have you recorded it? Have you recorded 9 Pitches?
I'm not in a 9 Pitches.
Has anybody recorded 9 Pitches yet? Well, if they haven't recorded 9 Pitches, in case it hasn't been recorded.
My brain just went.
You were in it. Well, okay, in the unlikely event that 9 Pitches hasn't been recorded yet and you needed a pitch, here is mine. I've banged on about it enough. Bobby and Goldberg batter each other at SummerSlam. Both go down. Oh, Las Vegas! Here he is. Straight in there. Big E beats him.
See, I saw Big E as more of a stand-up, announce it beforehand, man.
Oh.
I thought Goldberg was going to mow through Lashley and then Big E was going to demand the match and cash in and set it up and have like a big
Oh, I mean, that could
like
still...
on equal footing.
We'll see. Tasty, tasty. Drew McIntyre news, moving over to the SummerSlam match he's got against Jinder coming up, but he's been reflecting and pontificating on a rather disappointing end to a storyline he had with Sheamus. He was chatting with BT Sport alongside Sheamus about their rivalry from earlier in the year. I enjoyed the Sheamus-Drew stuff.
Yeah.
It was good to a degree. Sheamus said, we were really hoping it was going to be at WrestleMania, their big finish, where the feud would climax. We fought as hard as we could to make that happen, but what can you do? Drew McIntyre then said, if you watch the pre-match video, it was WrestleMania worthy. We can come back around. There's always next year's WrestleMania. It'll be new again, but it certainly was a disappointment. And I agree. I feel like WrestleMania used to be the place where big storylines would culminate. It now just kind of feels like a variety show or a festival event for wrestling.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like, I mean, quite often WrestleMania matches, no matter their build or the amount of time's being put into them, still feel like exhibitions. So it's just, I don't know where we lost that magic of that hype and that build and WrestleMania being truly that special, but it's gone and it needs to come back soon, please.
The only thing really that was, there was some okay builds at WrestleMania, but I think the Roman stuff was, even the build to that was not as strong as it maybe could have been.
Yeah.
It was more just here's 3 guys, they're having a match, have a lovely time. Roman talking recently with New York Post about future plans for the Bloodline, the faction that he is in with the Usos. And the question was raised about whether now she is on SmackDown, whether Naomi would fit into that role. Roman Reigns said if Naomi was put in that position to join us, coupled with all of us surrounding her, along with Paul Heyman and the rest of our creative brainstorming system that we have and how we craft our narratives, I think we could put her in a good position. It's not just something we've had to come up with. We'd have to come up with a thorough game plan. If we did, I think she's definitely a superstar who would step up and take advantage of it. Because Roman very much has his own team around him of creative peoples.
Yeah, and I think this works. I think that this is where it is going to head eventually, that anybody who's kind of affiliated with or related to Roman, including maybe some surprise debuts, like could you imagine if they just debuted new people from Roman's family and like extended family, and it was kind of like a big shock because we know there's enough on the indie scene that could kind of make this happen. So I think that it makes sense for Roman to just build up this whole family faction And then that's where it starts to crumble a little bit because, people are going to start bickering and not everybody's going to be on the same. And it gets harder to control that the bigger it gets. And with him just, reassuring everybody that he's the head and he's going to lead them, no matter what they think of him, it's just going to lead to more and more drama.
I can't help but think when you said about Roman bringing in other members of his family.
What?
1 week, Roman can't be here this week, so a family member's here. And it's Roman in a moustache. I'm Lenny Reigns. I'm Roman's brother.
Hello, I'm Leah Keys. And he just goes back to his original, pretends he's not the same person.
Yes, we're different people.
Roman's twin.
Here comes Kimmy and Kate Uso. Book it, you cowards. Ruby Riott has reappeared online. Ruby Soho is the new name. She shot a short teaser trailer for something called The Runaway, which is going to be sort of the way she debuts a new character by the looks of things. In it, she's running to catch a train and she misses the train. She shot beautifully. It's the first of many parts. It's nice to see a wrestler leaving WWE with some nice video packages that don't involve him being in either a mental asylum or a prison.
I'm not going to lie, I thought that fence was prison bars.
Oh!
The opening shot's like a ticket in hand and you see a fence and it's like, okay, running for a train. But at the same time, it's nice that even the title is an allusion to an old punk band because you've got the Runaways, Joan Jett and everything through there. So, and Ruby Soho, they better bill her. As Joel Gertner tweeted, she has to be billed from Destination Unknown, please.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. A word of advice, if you're working today, maybe you're in an office cubicle, if you're going to look up this video, Google Ruby Soho wrestler.
Yeah.
Not just Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
That's NSFW, as the kids say.
That was the morning risky click, wasn't it, Tom?
Oh, you got to have a morning risky click. It's simply not Wednesday without it. Finalamo, Daniel Bryan pitching for a match in New Japan. Let's go to our New Japan correspondent, Sam Driver.
That's me, famous New Japan correspondent. So Andrew Zarian of Mat Men went on record saying that I know Daniel Bryan really wanted to work with Big Billy Ospreay. I know that for Bryan, that's a big thing. So, this is...
Billy Ospreay and
you gonna say no to Daniel Bryan versus Will Ospreay? I don't think that's something that you could possibly turn down the idea of Ospreay and just the technicality and all those flips and all of that. Oh my God!
This is the joy of what AEW are doing in bringing wrestling together. Is that.
Just put him in New Japan and have him wrestle him every week and then get Ishii on board. Done.
I was going to say Bryan versus Ishii.
Yeah, that's just put him straight in New Japan. Just AEW would be great, but if I can get Ishii versus Bryan every week.
Oh, that's a very good way of potentially coming up with the way that Daniel Bryan will debut in AEW.
No, we're going to close that door and we're just going to make sure he goes to New Japan and he can wrestle Ishii.
I wonder if there are any other creative ways that we could bring Daniel Bryan into AEW. I wonder if there's a video where we can find that out. Who knows, eh? YouTube.com/Cultaholic later on today. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day. More news as we get it at Cultaholic.com. Look after yourself, stay safe, and love you. Bye.